everyone, welcome back to your channel, Brighter Life Institute. I am Alicia. I want to talk to you today about a trend that has been going on for some time, with the title that no one wants to work anymore. If you have not been living under a rock, I'm sure that you came across this title somewhere. It could be on YouTube, on Google, or on TikTok. The blame seems to be directed on the Generation Z and the millennials. Some people are accusing this generation to be lazy, just don't want to work on title. But I'm here to tell you, those two generations is not the only one that is feeling that having a job anymore is not that worth it. I'm from the Generation X, and the people from Generation X were usually people that were looking forward to get their first job, having money, having their independence, so they could buy their first car, first home, and their independence from their parents. Another thing that is quite particular with the Generation X was this hope that if you were from a poor family, that if you get educated and get a job and work hard, you could turn your life better than your parents. You had the hope to enter the middle class that right now in our time, in 2024, I greatly doubt that the middle class still exists in many Western countries. So blaming the issue that the young people are lazy, they don't want to do anything, is unfair. The issue is not an issue of generation, no matter it's X, Z, or the millennials. Our government have more to do with what's going on with the economy than her little self. As I mentioned previously, the people from Generation X were highly motivated to get their degree and to get the first job, to make money, because they were promised somehow for a future, and money in that Generation X managed to buy the first home. Some were coming from a generation after generation in their family, where none in their family have ever been able to buy their own home. This changed with the Generation X. They still made it despite they did not have university degrees. This really motivated many people to work hard, to want a job, to start their own company, to want to make money. There was a future on the table that motivated you to want to do something more and to enter a company and make your way through. So your money is getting higher, you get promoted. But all of this today, in this time, today, that is 2024, and even before that, there seems no real motivation, at least for the individual, for personal development, personal gain, to get something that my generation got. We in the Generation X still had the hope that, yeah, if you get the degree, then we get the first job, we work hard, we start already applying to get our own home. That was something very important, at least for me. That made the difference when I knew that none of my two sides of family, none of people, generation after generation, in my family have ever owned her home, especially in a foreign country. That was a big deal, a big win, a big hope, a dream. Today, this dream to get a job so you can get ahead, you can make a difference for your life, for the life also of your family and parents and your children. This is not there today. When we look at country like the UK, where we can get a whole household of a mom and dad and even children working, and the working people are struggling to put food on the table. They cut the electricity and even water because they cannot afford the utility bills costs. And those people, they have a job, they are working. During the COVID-19, we have self-made millionaire, entrepreneur, startups that were closed down, destroyed by these 2 years of lockdown, of insanity over the COVID-19, over a worldwide lockdown. Some people experienced anxiety, isolation, loneliness for the first time. The situation with the loneliness that some people and many young people cannot even find a mate. The struggle that the young people are going through is real, and that struggle is multiplied for those that have a mortgage, that have loans, that have kids, that have a job. The reality of the situation is many people that are out of work are better off than those that are at work. Can you believe this? People that are working have to absolutely afford everything, and they are struggling to afford it. The salary is not keeping up what's the reality in the economy. A simple sandwich here in Brussels is now at 12 euro. If it's not more, you take a little coffee and you're already at 5 euro for a small little coffee. The dreams of the people of my time, of the Generation X, was to own their own home. Call it that it was an American dream. It started in the US, but it was real. It is a dream that still is desired by many people out there. As I mentioned already, the example of what is going on, the disaster that is happening in the UK economy. Working family are struggling. They are not just struggling to pay the bills, the high utility, and the food, to put food on the table for themselves, for their kids, but they're also struggling, and they became prisoner of the mortgages costs with the high rate of interest rate that came in. Some are forced to sell their home, sell it low, sell it high, doesn't matter, as nobody is there to buy the property if it's not some rich, already billionaire dude that just found a great deal. For everybody else that are not homeowners, the renters, well, what's happening? There is a shortage of accommodation everywhere. You can say Brussels, you can say in the Netherlands, you can say in the UK, in Germany. Yes, but still, there are places like in Brussels, in Belgium, where you can still find property to rent. But the cost of the rent has skyrocketed. It is really not affordable. Let me not even mention, if you want to buy your own home, the banks now expect nearly that you put 60,000 euro on the table, cash, so that you've been given the right to be given a 25 or 30 years mortgages on a broken home. that you will pay for the rest of your life. But before you enjoy to pay this broken home that you need to renovate for at least 10 years for it to be a bit what you wanted, well, you have to find the deposit money to put on the table. As I mentioned, for property that is 320,000, you're already at 75,000 to put on the table. So why is it that people are so surprised that many people are discouraged? This is the word, discouraged, with mental health and fear and anxiety to go to work, give your life to a job from Monday to Friday, and sometimes, like in my case, work doesn't have hours. For some people, you don't have hours. You really work from Monday to Sunday. Sometimes at 11 o'clock you're still there because you have a project to finish. You have to finish this. I must say I'm still passionate about my job. But I realize something. And this is not to encourage anybody to, follow the movement. But I don't see much point to be in a full-time job when your full-time job cannot help you to survive. You cannot survive. You cannot hope to better your life. You cannot hope for future. My generation, the Generation X, when I was in my 20s, we had hope. In the time, we still had the 0% mortgages in the UK. And I just came in before they closed it down, managed to get it. I still suffered for at least 15 years with renovating my home. It was not the best home. I was proud of it, but I did struggle to pay that home. The interest was high, but the interest now is higher. Many young people cannot even hope to live by themselves, to rent their first place. Don't even think to buy your first place. In the time that we live in now, there is also the side effect that romantic relationship, the dating, is at its worst point. Many people are unsatisfied regarding the dating situation. So many don't want to get with somebody and they don't want to get married or get children. Getting children, what a joke when you cannot even afford normal things for yourself. Don't even think to getting children when even if you're working and have a partner, you cannot afford things, the basic. Nobody over here are talking about living in a luxury. No, not at all. And this basic right now, many of us are struggling with it. And many people that have a job are struggling the most. Many people that have a job are struggling more than those that are out of work. That is pure madness. On top of this, we see what our government are doing. We are not a priority for them. We that are contributing to the tax money, at least for the Europeans and the Americans, seem to go to one direction only for the government, and that is toward funding wars and funding Ukraines. I don't even want to start to say that many Europeans start to not be very fond of Ukrainians. There is something really wrong. So we cannot blame this whole problem on one generation, that is the young people. I'm 46 years old and I support those young people. I feel like them. That what's the point to give all your time as a job when you have a job? They pay you money, yes. They pay you money for your time and for your skills. I've also seen people from previous generation before mine. They saved, they work hard. They may be the first to get their first home for some of them. They put money on the side, and the government also told them, promised them that a pension will be paid to them for their contribution. But what happened that I see in my time is many people that have put money in the bank for their pension. The banks crash, and some of those people lost all their money. It is for this reason that many banks have put in place the Basel I, the Basel II, the Basel III to prevent such incident. But this is pure theft. But last year, we had few crash of banks in America where hard working people that were millionaires also lost most of their fortunes. So it is to wonder, really, if we should put our own life, our own happiness and our own needs and to pause, to be in a job that is not paying us enough, not paying us in the reality of our needs outside that jobs. Outside that job, what is it that an individual needs? They need to dress themselves, feed themselves. They want to have a bit of a life. All of us are taking a job and working, not just because we love this job so much. It doesn't matter if this is the best job in the world. But many people are working to improve their life, to bring things to their life, to have a future, to have money for their retirement, to have something, to build up something for themselves, not just to work for a company to help them build their dream. And you, the individual that are working with others that also are contributing for this one to win, you cannot afford anything. You cannot afford anything. You cannot afford to pay your home, your bills, your phone. And many people, as I said already, right now are single. They are not together with a partner. But I've seen many that are two people in the house working and they cannot afford things. And this is the problem why many people today in all generation are struggling with this reality and this fact that they have a job but they cannot afford anything. They seem there is no future to look for. They cannot afford a place to rent or a place to buy. So many of those young people are staying in their parents' basement. Trust me, I'm pretty sure many of those young people are not enjoying that. They want to have their life from their parents. It's a very important step in anybody's life, especially for young people. So saying that they are lazy, they don't want to work. But some of them maybe they are for all generation. But there is a problem right now. We are being demoralized. We are being impoverished by our own government that are making us all poor. They are talking about war. And look what's happening in Ukraine. Many young men are fleeing Ukraine. They don't want to lose their life. And they are right. They are right about it. Why would they die to fight a war for their country? That is not bringing them anything. Ukraine cannot win this war. Why die? Why making these young people die for whatever reason? And we also have other European leaders talking about war here, war that, especially Macron of France. Don't we have enough to be used, abused by those people that don't even look? What is it that we get in all of this? And that's the thing. Of course, we all need to make money, as money equals survival. Yes, but the problem is not just people don't want to work, don't want to get a job. The problem is we've been impoverished. The opportunity for us to bring a difference to our own life, to our family, to build our own family, to have something for us in our life, to see that we have made something from the work that we were done is being taken away from us. So people are focusing on making themselves happy. Naturally, some people feeling more happy when they are out of work than at work. They have less things to pay, they can go by, despite they are not making the same salary. They're living on government benefit and they are happier than those that are at work. They work from Monday to Friday working 9 to 5, and then the weekend they cannot do anything because they are extremely tired. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys today, that this issue is revealing a fundamental problem, not just on people, but on our economy and the government. This issue is going to blow out, as this is not going to go away. It is a reality that everything is more expensive right now. We cannot hope to have a different life. Can you imagine if you're a young person, you're still living at your parents' place, and you're looking to move from there to have your own place, and you realize you cannot even find a place to afford. Despite that you got 2 jobs, you still cannot afford even the smallest place to live. There are some people that have decided, okay, I'm going to flat sharing, or I'm going to live in a van or in a car. Yes, they still have to pay, things. And the depressing situation, yes, you're flat sharing, you're paying less, you have your independence, you're not at home anymore when mom and dad. You're paying a little room, and after you pay that little room, that's all you can afford. This little room and the rest that you need to pay with it, the internet, the food, is taking at least 75% of your salary. You cannot even put money on the side hoping, okay, in 5 years I'm going to move out of here and buy my own place. No, that's the problem. If the government want to change the situation for everyone, not just for the millionaire, not just for the Generation Z, for everyone, as this is affecting everyone of all age, they need to start looking the priority for the individual out there. Individual needs matter, as this life is yours. We encourage so much the groups and etc., but we all need our own things, our own lives, especially when everybody don't want to couple anymore, don't want to be in an intimate relationship, don't want this and that. We want to be independent, and it's very hard to be independent when you cannot afford anything, when rents are going high, interest rate is going high, you cannot do anything. It's depressing, and this depression that is going on right now is affecting many people. It is the reason, I believe, why many don't want to have a job anymore. The promise and the dream is not there on the table, because you cannot afford anything, even when you have a job. So I hope that this video is going to bring some clarity to some people out there. Many of you have done a video talking exactly about what's going on, so we all know what's going on. But how amazing that our governments seem to be the last to know what's going on, and companies seem to not know also what's going on. The good things in our time is maybe this working from home, that now many companies like banks, like the CEO Jamie Dimon, want to erase, calling people again lazy. I'm sorry, I'm somebody that like working. I'm truly a goal-oriented person. But what goal do one get when you have a job that don't help you to progress, get anything, or to afford anything? Why they want people to sacrifice their life for them? They are billionaires, and they are not doing much for the average people out there. Apart talking about wars, what is our government is getting and understanding about the need of individuals in our society. Another thing that the people of the Generation X had was this opportunity for people that did not have a degree. For whatever reason, some of those people could not afford to go to university. As in that Generation X, many people that would be able to go to university will have to rely on their own finance or their parents' finance, compared to the generation Z and the millennials that could borrow the money, take a loan, and pay it back. In my generation, this was not possible. In my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong about that. But the Generation X, many people in the Generation X became millionaires. They made a name for themselves. They made a difference. The job school people like Steve Jobs. I leave this here, and I hope that a solution will be found soon, that things change. As truly, the middle class have died. We have now extremely rich billionaires to trillionaires and really poor people. Poverty is back on the table for many people. We want the middle class to come back. We want the interest rate to drop to zero. We want people to be able to afford their food, their electrical and gas and water, and to be able to afford affordable accommodation, and to get the dream back of buying their first home, belonging to them, a break in the class that brought hope and difference to many people's lives. Not giving people a dreams to work on and to hope for a better future is a recipe for disaster, and give no reason for no one to go to a job. For what? So you can just pay tax, but you cannot even afford food. This is wrong. There's something that needs to be changed, and the change is in our hand to demand, to impose, and to talk about it. Do not allow other people to blackmail you. Do not allow some people to just labels those that are suffering in silence, and to insult them to say you are lazy. No, we are not lazy. There is a problem, and a solution need to be found for things to be reset. It's time for a new beginning for everybody. I thank you so much to have watched your channel, Brighter Life Institute, with me, Alicia. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye!
Whatever you got, I'm